1, 2, 5. Three saw. 3.
Well, hello and welcome. We are the Shills, a group of YouTube creator and debunkers coming together for live roundtable chats, live debunks, guests, interviews, and more. And tonight we have a great show together for you, folks. We've got Yogi Zen and his absolute cave-fueled bullshit. We've got the Unbelievable History Channel with another Aliens masterpiece. And joining us today on the show is the one and only Jared from AT2 Productions. And we have 1 minute debunk on the panel as well. Now, let me hand this over to a man who, as we speak, is working with NASA on a consciousness bomb to wipe out the flat earth mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jim Bojo.
Thank you very much indeed, Dick Dawson. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are. I'm Jim Bojo. This is the Silly Shell Midweek Show, and we are the Shells. Hello! Tonight we have the usual medley of madcap claims, engrossing guests, and just having a laugh about it all. Initially, I'm going to take you around the table to see who's with us on the panel. First up, Dick Dawson. Hello, how are you doing, mate? What have you been up to this week?
Well, doing a lot of video editing, as we did see a little bit there, and we've got a nice new end credit crawl coming up as well. Been looking into the stupid side of flurf and pseudoscience, and I have about 3 million episodes I want to make because, wow, are these fuckers out of control.
Sounds like you've got a lot on your plate. Logical Troglodyte, how about you? How are you doing, and what have you been up to this week? What you got coming out?
If I can get my stupid mic to work. Yeah, I'm about 3/4 of the way done with my a little apology to Antonio Subaret with peer review attached. That should be coming out sometime tomorrow evening. Working on my part 3 of my Psychology of Conspiracies and a super secret project with one other member of the community, which you'll hear more about in the coming weeks.
I say, very intriguing stuff. Dead Kennedy in space. I see you floating there in the corner. How are you doing, sir? What have you been up to?
I'm doing excellent. I've had a very busy week with work, but it's starting to chill out now. I've got a new entry in the Everything Points to the Globe series coming soon, featuring the work of our fellow shill, Pete Berube, and a couple potential live streams, possibly a debate between myself and a flat earther, and also a Blue Earth thing and a flat earther, but there are no dates for those yet, so stay tuned.
Okay, look forward to that. Now, Kerry Mack's with us in the chat. Firstly, she's the person to get in contact with if you've got any comments or questions throughout the show. But secondly, I'm going to have a quick chat to her now. How are you doing, Kerry? Have you got anything this week that you spotted that you wanted to talk about? Anything you wanted to point out at all?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I've been catching a few really good debates. So Fight the Flat Earth has had a really good one with Schrodinger's cat and Matthias. I've been
Yeah, that was a lot
see
of fun.
Joey Rocha a couple times this week. He's been on MC Toon. So yeah, lots going on. If you can at the Shills guys in the chat, if you want us to read out any comments or questions, that would be great. And yeah, pretty much all good here. Thank you.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Kerry Mack. Yeah, don't forget to get in contact with her. She'll get any questions or comments you have back out to us during the show. Jack Monk, the Drunk Monkey. Oi, oi! How are you doing, sir?
Fucking oi!
Oi, fucking oi! How you been this week, mate? Have you got anything special you want to tell the people about at home?
Well, I've been saying it for the past month, but the comments video is actually almost done. It's
we're nearly there.
It's getting on for 40 minutes long, so
Bloody hell.
I've never done a video that long, you know. And there's all sorts in it.
Good
yeah,
grief.
I've got an idea for another rant.
Lovely.
A collab that's still kind of, you know, happening.
Cool.
And,
It's nice when that happens.
Yeah, and I also need to start my first video for my other channel. You know, Truth is Not a Hoax.
Yeah,
so, and that'll be with Casual Spaceman.
Well, have we got a link to that going in the description or possibly into the chat? I think we have, haven't we? Because
Yeah,
this is a new project you started up with End the Conspiracy, which is going to be a lot of fun. I certainly want to help. I know a few other people
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we want as many people on board because it's a serious channel. There's no joking around. There's, you know what I mean? Even the swearing is might show a bit of passion, but other than that, it's going to be very professional, presenting evidence, eyewitness accounts.
Jack Monk, the sensible monkey. That's brilliant stuff. Well, look, Sarcastic Barman, how are you doing today, sir? What have you had out this week that you want to tell people about?
I'm good, thank you, Squire. It's been not a bad week, to be fair. It's a nice little bit of a video last night.
Very nice.
Enjoyed Jack Monk's 300 special live stream. That was bloody awesome, that was.
Oh, wasn't it just?
And then just working on all my Orphan Red stuff for next week. So that's going to be a fun week.
Very, very nice indeed. Okay, so we've got Osman Comment is going to be manning the machines in the background. I know that Dick Dawson's going to be helping him a little bit as well. We've also got our 1 minute debunk on the panel today. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
And what have you been up to this week? Any good 1 minute debunks out you want to tell people about?
I've been producing minutes of footage for my YouTube channel,
which
almost has a full hour of footage now.
Good grief.
What most people usually achieve in a handful of videos has taken me more than half a year.
Yes, so but it's good. Quality and not quantity, old chap. Well, I think you're doing well.
I find that very complimentary. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
I've been up to a few secret projects, including a very simple experiment that anyone could do to hint at what shape the planet might be.
Indeed. Anyone who frequents the Discord servers may have noticed this, so you can go and check that out for yourselves as well. Very interesting.
In the Shills Discord.
Indeed. All right, brilliant stuff. Well, of course, I'm Jim Bojo. I talk to people, and it turns out in my domestic absences, my cat's been purloining using my computer and putting out a couple of debunks, the cheeky little tyke. But that might be worth a look at, eh?
Can I just add,
if you haven't
definitely look at it. Honestly, he's absolutely brilliant. I love his voice. Awesome, Jimbo. He's your cat's better than you, mate. Better than you.
I'm blushing, mate. God bless you. Well, anyway, thank you very much. I think they're quite fun anyway. Have a look. Let's see. I've lost my place in the list now. Where am I going? In a little while, we're going to have to fire up the old Videotron to see if we've got any videos. But I want you to remember, after the show, get out and check out all our creators, guests, the people on the panel. As you've just heard, we've got some brilliant material coming out, and I think it'll be worth checking it out. So let's see. I will go to comments and questions in a moment, but that's after I talk to our guest. Now, it's with very great pleasure I introduce to the show. I mean, you are one of the old guard of the debunking community. You've been around as long as Gism Campanella has been talking shit on YouTube, really, haven't you? Everyone in the audience, if you know him, you'll know him from the weekly Veterans Talks. You'll have heard him on streams with people like Red's Rhetoric, GeoStreamer, Microbloganism, that Sean Hufford, all of the old guard, the people who've been fighting Flat Earth for upwards of 5 years in some cases now. Hello, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing quite all right. And it's really something to think about that. I've been at it with the majority of these idiots for just it's coming up on 5 years for me
Right.
personally, and it was only probably about 6-7 months more than that for some of the other creators who I have actually become friends with. And where does the time go? Holy
Indeed. Well,
shit.
quite. It's just been pointed out to me that somehow I neglected to mention your actual name then. I'm so sort of used to who you are, and I figure everyone would recognize you that I didn't even say it. This is AT2 Productions, everybody. Say hello. He's a legend of the YouTube community. Now, look, what I usually do now is ask a few basic interview questions, and then the panel, they'll get to chat to you a little bit, and we'll sort of crack on with the debunk video. So is it all right if I just ask you a few preliminary shilly questions?
Oh, go all in.
Lovely stuff. Well, look, basic one to start with. For people who, on the off chance, haven't actually heard of who you are and what you do, how would you describe yourselves to them in a couple of sentences?
So the easiest way I have found to explain what I do to people is I'm a U.S. Navy veteran who bludgeons people with facts, especially about history and science. And the reason for that is my initial foray into the debunking community and everything was really one out of curiosity. I heard a
Okay.
lot of people saying a lot of stupid things online, and it's when I started getting the hangouts, and I would just start asking them, why do you think that is the case? And I would just try to get
Yeah.
them to explain their position. And if it was something that I have a deep understanding of, I would then go into, okay, I can see where you went wrong. See, you were right up until this point.
Sure.
And then I would explain the rest of it to them. And a lot of them really started to hate me for it.
Yeah, it does happen when you come across someone who thinks they've got the solution to life, and then you tell them that it's very simple why they're wrong. They get irritated at you, almost like they feel stupid or something. Now, how long have you been in the community? It's about nearly 5 years, right?
Yeah, right about 5 years is when I started on it. For people who've been watching for that long, you'll remember the channels, Flat Earth Debates, Flat Earth Discussions, Earth Discussions, all those channels, which were open hangout channels who would literally run 8-hour-long hangouts pretty much 24/7 and let people come and go as they please. That's
Sure.
really where I started. I didn't start actually doing
Nice.
any of my own stuff until just over a year ago.
Well, what was the trigger there then? Because obviously you'd spent years sort of taking part in the community. I've known you. I've been looking into the flat Earth probably for 18 months to 2 years, more or less, and I'd spent the previous 3 years looking into sort of religious apologist stuff. So your name had popped up once or twice inside chats because Steve McRae's had, and you know the attachment there.
Yep.
And as I moved into the flat Earth stuff, I saw you more and more and more. It hadn't even occurred to me that you didn't start doing material until your own material until like a year ago. So what fired
Yeah.
that off?
So what actually spawned that is because I've been doing so much stuff on other people's channels with Red's Rhetoric, with Sean Hufford, with Geostreber, and when Team Skeptic started coming around, he and I started talking and doing shows on his channel and other people's channel as well. Well, off air, he and I were talking, and he was like, you know what, with what you're doing and the way you're bringing people together, I'd love to actually get a weekly veterans only thing going. And our first episode of that was actually not what is now known as Veterans Talk Weekly. It was actually a Memorial Day special, not this past year, the year before. That was actually the first actual episode of it, where we just got a bunch of us ex-military folks on there to pretty much sit back, shoot the shit, talk about whatever we wanted. And ended up conveying that into what is now Veterans Talk Weekly, where we give that opportunity to, one, give the public a view into what are people who were, or in some cases still are in the military, actually like. Let them see just how diverse we are as a group, but also at the same time, give them a chance through the live chat to interact with us, ask us questions, get our opinion on things. And it really started out with one of the underlying things being a place to talk also about veterans issues, veterans health issues, and be that sense of community, which has actually helped a few of our brothers in arms
Oh, okay, that's very
after the
commendable
fact.
sort of. That's very commendable sort of thing as well. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the weekly talks for a while because I know Mike Bertelson. I actually did an interview with him, and from that point on, I was watching them. Now, obviously, I'd known you up to that point, but it took me a while to get around to it. I think at the moment, what I'd like to do is I'd like to give the panel a chance to ask any questions if they have any, and I'm going to ask Kiri Mack to check if there's anything in the chat that she wants to read out as well. But I'll come to you in a minute, Kiri. Does anyone have any specific questions they wanted to ask?
Actually, I don't have a specific question, but I do want to make a statement. Jared, I did not poach BM Furball. That was not my fault.
Oh, yeah, but I still got to give you crap about it, though, when it happened.
Serve it up, Jared. He's got his bowl ready. Go for it.
Well, Jetmonk, do I hear you in the background?
Yeah, I've got a question for you. How much has it changed over the past 5 years? What massive changes have you seen? How it's progressed?
Do Flurfs think differently now than they did back then?
No. The biggest change the biggest change are the characters that you end up coming across. You still have some of that old guard staple with Globe Busters and Jeranism.
Yeah, sure.
But you more have some of the newer faces that are your now vocal minority, but they're regurgitating the same stupid arguments and the same misconceptions.
Same talking points, same arguments every time.
It is getting boring,
straight out of the teticism. It is appalling. Now, Kiri Mack, have you got any questions or comments from the chat you wanted to bring up?
Well, there's a lot of chat going on about our guest coming up on Saturday.
There certainly is. We'll come to that a little bit later, though.
We will.
I guess for the moment.
I will keep it stum for now, but some excitement about that. We've got the usual suspects in chat. So we've got Amy Hogan, Robert Legier, Surf, Kristen Frost Laserbeams. Hi guys.
Hello all. Hi guys.
We all love you. Thanks for coming along. No questions as yet, but at me if you've got anything, guys.
Indeed. Okay, well, that's fair enough. Thank you very much indeed, Kiri. So, let's see. We've met all of the guests and the panelists now. So what I'd like to ask Jared in particular is, would you like to take part in a bit of a live debunk with us?
Oh, and I've already seen the options. to say that this is going to be, to quote the infamous Jism, interesting.
Yes, a perfectly chosen quote for the moment. Right, well, in that case, I'm going to pass it straight over to Dick Dawson, the man with the plan. Dick, what do we got, man?
Well, right now, we actually need to give our producer about 10 seconds to reset his audio engine. So go for it now. And I'll just go blah, blah. Wait for him to do it, right? You know.
No, that's very professional. Fill the air nicely. Wonderful stuff. That's exactly what we need to be doing.
Okay. Yeah, so he's saying we're all good now. So I'm thinking we should get to a video. Does that sound like a good thing? The panel in on this here, are we good?
I think so. That sounds good to me.
I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. Hang on. Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Go for it. Well,
all right. So where are we going here? Were we going with Yogi Zen and his pot-fueled shenanigans, or?
No. That's not pot. That is definitely more peyote.
Yeah. I have to agree with our guest on this one.
Yes. So let's cue up Yogi Zen and his peyote-filled rantings and see what we can't poke with a stick and make laugh, shall we?
Awesome.
In the caves.
I'm not sure. Yeah, the chat could not hear, or the people watching could not hear that.
So
yes, I had heard that
the
in the side chat. Indeed. Oh, Grandson, you there, old chap. How's it going out there? We're having a bit of an issue with the video, mate. I've got beautiful dead air
Someone's
everywhere. I love
smoking
it so much. It's
something.
delicious. Yum, yum,
Who's
yum, yum, yum.
smoking
I don't want to
pipe?
say anything though, because we might as well have a change, right?
Is
Yeah,
it just
man.
me, or does Yogi actually look like Inrem? I think he's Inrem's laid-back brother. You know.
I think he's
That's gone Super
stoned.
Saiyan.
Do you
Well, they're
think,
both
Chapman?
stoned. You know.
Yeah.
They just react to being stoned in different ways.
My God, I will say they definitely look like they've been cut from the same cloth, right? Like they had one mold which broke after they made one of them, and then they just tried to make another one anyway. So you've got these two damaged goods. It's extremely bizarre.
Oh dear.
Right, well, I'm going to see if I can get in contact with the back room because, frankly, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know what's
regarding
going
the
on
video.
here, do we, mate? It's
Yeah, I got nothing. Producer, are you there?
I am here. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. I'm about to switch to the video screen, but I'm going to make sure that the entire crew can be heard aside from my back end. And yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Okay, that sounds lovely. How long have we got? How much dead air do I have to fill?
Well, I've got a question for AT2.
Lovely.
I'll let Osman finish. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, no, that's okay. I didn't know what I was going to say.
Oh, well.
Hopeless is at least someone in that anything to them. Give them 30 seconds after the conversation's over. They've hit a mental reset button and have completely dumped whatever you've told them. And it's actually why I've gotten more towards the vitriolic side with a lot of them, because I know they've done that, which is a dishonest, disingenuous, shitty way to be. And sorry, if you're going to act like that type of person, you get no respect from me.
Right. It's just the refusal to accept scientific fact, isn't it? It's absolutely confirmation bias and all that, you know?
Well, it's even more basic than that because it shows just a blatant disrespect for who you're talking to.
Well, that, of course, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you don't understand the scientific principles and everything, we can work with that. But when you couple that with an abject disdain for who you're talking to, that's where you can't get anywhere with that person. Something that's been going on in the background, Right the Hand, or more appropriately named Wrong the Foot, has been trying to egg myself, MC Toon, and another gentleman on to have a debate. All three of us have put forth a simple request for him, and not even a request, a requirement at this point. Wrong the Foot had made some rather distasteful comments towards Karen B, who is a flat earther. MC Toon, myself, and others have said, no, you need to apologize for that shit. You need to show that you are actually somewhat resembling a decent human being, and then we will consider further interaction with you. To which Wrong the Foot has been saying, oh, you're running away from me. It's like, no, we're here, motherfucker. Where's your apology?
Right.
And that's the thing, is a number of us have gotten to that point of holding them to a higher standard before even considering doing anything more public with them.
You know, and that's pretty telling when we will defend one of their crowd and they won't at all. You know, I haven't heard, I know what he talks about when he talks about Karen B, and none of their crowd will come step up and say, you shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff, you know, but we will. You know, that just shows a difference in mentality, you know, and the sense of honor and fair play, you know.
Okay, gents, we've got a communication from the back room. Apparently they've stoked up the boilers and they've got the fires running.
Okay.
We're going to hear a little bit of an announcement from them. So if I could just step in and let Ozzy have a quick word. Hello, mate.
G'day. I do apologise. I did say I would get it on the third stream. Obviously, I was talking out of my arse. I'm now just about to test out the audio and video for the lovely patrons of the Shills.
Cool. Give it, man.
Lovely stuff. So
there is a question for A2 Productions from Conspiracy Cats, but I can't find it. So I don't know if you've seen it.
Hang on, I know it.
Kiri?
It's he would like to know if AT2 has ever had a flat earther come around to see sense again.
Okay,
Thanks, Kevin.
well,
Actually, I have seen a couple of them be pulled back from them. One of them was someone that actually dated back to the original times.
Tiger Dan?
No, actually shortly after Tiger Dan.
Huh?
His first name is Matthew. I can't remember his last name, but he was active in Earth discussions and at the tail end of Flat Earth debates. He actually ended up switching over to Discord when those channels died. But yeah, he was a flat earther, and it was because he quite literally did not understand a lot of the scientific foundations. But myself, Quartus, and a handful of other people who actually know what we're talking about found a way to explain it to him in a way he could understand. And we're actually able to get him back to reality, back to a sense of actual understanding of what is going on.
Indeed. I mean, there's been one or two famous cases over the years, haven't there? Everyone who sort of knows the community a bit has heard of Tiger Dan. Jared, I'm sure you know about Tiger Dan.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, really committed flat earther. Went to the point of going, right, fuck it, I'm going to make a map. Sorry, Dead Kennedy, what was that?
I was going to say, the thing I love about Tiger Dan is what brought him around was attempting to do pretty much what every Glober wants flat earthers to do, is try and make it work, and you'll see that it can't.
Indeed, present a model. If you watch the succession of videos, he's going like, okay, well, I think I'm doing quite well, but I've got a couple of issues. And the next time he's like, well, I'm only down to these 2 issues, but I'm not sure how to solve them. And then after a while, it's like, no, I'm really struggling. I managed to turn the map backwards, so the South Pole is actually the center, and it looked like it was working, but I'm still struggling. And in the end, there's a video where it just goes, yeah, the world's not flat. Like, clearly, he just given up and changed his mind. It's fucking brilliant. Like, now I've been getting messages from the back room that say that we might be able to try a video. So what's going to happen is Ozzy's going to hit play, and if the audience can hear it, they're going to tell us, and if they can't, they're definitely going to tell us. So are we ready to go, lads?
I am.
Let's give it a shot.
Lovely.
Is the greatest and probably most difficult yoga practice for all of us. This is the coming together of the mind. The hands cannot get anything done without the mind. This is a direct reflection of our intention. So purifying our hands of the many years of deceptive things, negative things, you might say the thief or the giver or taker lives within these arms. I've discovered many things about being yogic, living in
Right.
Dear, oh
Okay.
dear.
Aussie, mate. Word
No,
after the
good.
show.
We got fight and conspiracy cats checking us out, and
Yeah. And this is why we run subtitles, you know, not only for the hearing
yeah,
impaired, but for the YouTube glitches. Please
yeah,
stand
Absolutely.
by.
happens.
We're
Hey,
momentarily
So we
with
can
you.
now be heard. I see the word fixed on screen. That's usually
Yeah.
a good sign. Is that can
Yeah.
we be heard? Can the video be heard? Are we good to go?
Our subtitles up.
And, you know, we'll just have to take it on faith, as
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't
cringy as that
Is what
can
it
Yeah,
is.
be.
don't even start.
Okay.
How dare you? That's kind of
I'm here.
argument.
I'm hearing from the back room, fix. So let's give this a shot. It looks
Rock
like
and
we're,
roll.
yep, we're back. They can hear us all.
Specifically caused
All
this,
right,
so I'm
so
going to let his interjection again. All right.
All right.
well,
All
let
right.
me just catch them up quick, and then we'll hand it to Jared. So it was bullshit, idiot, asshole, dumb fuck. Jared, it's your turn. Go.
All right. So before we even got into that craziness about something living inside your arm, he said that you need the mind in order for the hand to do its thing. And I immediately thought, bullshit, I can do that with plain electrical impulses. No mind required.
Well, I mean, you're right, but I think his point is that naturally the mind is what sends that impulse, right?
Yes, but to say that it is necessarily required,
Right.
not exactly accurate.
Well, I thought he was just confused about where the mind lived within the body. You know, I tend to keep mine between my ears. Maybe he does keep him in his arms. I don't know. You know, alien baby, maybe.
Well, there's definitely something alien going on with him, but that's another video for another time.
Yeah, he's like some opiate addicted George of the Jungle. Like the guy makes me laugh. It's awesome.
Fucking Tarzan. Tarzan on smack.
Yeah, my only problem with Yogi is that he tends to give troglodytes a bit of a bad name. You know, you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's not
I
dragging
know
them
what you
knuckles
mean.
enough.
Well, he's definitely not going to drag me and my clan through that mud. No. Oh.
Now,
Alrighty.
Well, it sounds
So,
like we found a natural gap in the conversation. So why don't we hit play on that video again?
not having a teacher that's here on the physical plane, but is actually in my innermost mind, in my innermost quiet. The voice that speaks most quietly is the one that I want to listen to. That's the direction of my life as a yogi. So I want to know what life is without resistance, what life is without having contraction and clinging and grasping, the things that cause us to be more grabbing, more like crabs in life. I have chosen to free myself up. So I open up through the hands, I open up through the arms, letting the meridian systems operate, and then I can really feel what these hands are. If you examine yourself deeply, you'll realize that
I want to go back to what he was saying a second ago about how his inner voice is the one that he wants to be listening to.
Oh, the most quiet one at that.
The most quiet one. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the voice that a lot of serial killers listen to. Or, you know, if you're Son of Sam, you think that voice is your dog or something. But one other thing I want to say about this guy, I had never saw this guy before today. This is my first experience with this this gentleman, and if anyone's ever watched the channel Red Letter Media, they do movie reviews and stuff, and they have this show where they review low budget movies, and they have kind of a sub show within that where they watch random VHS tapes that have been sent to them over the years, and a lot of them are just weird instructional tapes from the 90s, and every one of them that is like a some kind of woo pedally zen you know, idiots just doing new agey crap, it's exactly this guy. They're all exactly this guy, and it's kind of mind-blowing.
It's also kind of sad.
A little bit.
So I did watch a little, not all of this video, but now I'm starting to wonder, when is he gonna pull out a crystal from a particular spot that we can't see at the moment?
I thought you were so funny.
Do you know what? I'm just waiting for him to actually say something that makes any sense. I mean, you can listen to it and make sense of it if you want, but really, it means fuck all what he's saying. It's just bollocks.
Yeah.
Sorry. But it is.
Don't be
It's
sorry.
a story.
It's the truth.
Christ almighty.
And did I hear him actually say, "Be more like crabs"? I keep thinking, God, take a bath, use the ointment that Dr. gave you. They will go.
No. He's saying by being the way we are, which is normal humanity, and actually going for the supplies that we need, because we're grabbing onto stuff, we are being more crab-like, but he's transcended that. He's become better than that.
Oh, I misunderstood what he said. I'm starting to kind of agree with Cleaner Ben when we got our audio situation sorted out and Yogi started talking and they could hear it. He said, "No, bad idea. Turn it off. Turn the sound off."
Radical the Unhallowed Knight here saying, clearly he's talking about needing his arms to use his hands. You guys are not woke enough. Sorry. He also said, butt crystals, is that a thing? Please let that not be a thing.
Well, blood crystals specifically charge best when in the moon's light.
Wonderful.
And in the moon's cold as well, right? Everything's cooler under moonlight.
Well, that all depends. If you let one rip, then it's going to fucking warm up.
I just imagine
Press
Yogi
play.
is a reverse glowworm and you squeeze him and his butt lights up.
Oh, he's dying in the background here. I love it.
I know, isn't it awesome? Love him. Oh. Right, you're gonna.
Yeah, shall we see what?
Let's
see what Captain Fantastic has to say next.
Fingertips, right on the ends, are actually eyes, meaning the hands have an ability to follow the eyes. Watch. Now, while I'm doing this, what is happening, when I turn my eyes to the left, my wrists feel a...
Michelle
This
said,
guy's too fucking funny, man.
You know what?
Michelle
I
says he has ascended.
I am starting to doubt whether or not his wrists actually feel anything with how easily he was able to get into this position.
I'd like to say he's not actually wrong. Your fingertips can point in the same direction as your eyes. It's not really meaningful, but you can do it. That's all I
Yeah.
have to say.
It's a very like what he says is almost nothing but fluff. Like literally it's so much fluff that if you used it to stuff a pillow, you're gonna have to let that guy talk for a month because it's such fluff, right?
Yeah,
But
I agree.
if you're looking for that existential outside the box type thinking to guide you through, like if you're one of those people that thinks rearranging your living room is going to make your life a more positive experience, this guy's probably got something to say to you, right? You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that catch on to this, and it's so sad because there's nothing to catch on to.
There isn't.
What-
Because I've just put in Discord that I actually can't see the video, but I didn't think he was doing anything. So I'm just listening to him and thinking, what the fuck?
You're not missing
no.
much apart from a totally rad cave drawing that he's done on the right-hand side. I don't know if you know. It's pretty amazing, actually.
There is.
Actually, I don't know if he did it. He maybe just found it.
Oh, probably. Though the English language does not have the proper words to accurately describe the dumb fuckery that was on the screen. So don't worry, Jumpmonk. You really are probably in the best position out of any of us right now.
Yeah, well, I'm just listening to it. Absolute fucking dribble. He's just dribbling fucking diarrhea from his mouth.
It's too bad you didn't see it, Monk, as he was doing the little walk like an Egyptian dance from the Bangles or whatever that band was. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I'd have probably fucking thrown shit at him anyway.
Kristen Josh Laser Beams is saying the guy needs to eat a cookie or a sandwich or 10, anything that's not air, basically.
Well, he's probably a breatharian. Look at him.
He is.
He is. He
Absolutely.
claims.
Well, there you go then.
He claims
Starving
to
to
be.
death.
But here's
Jared,
the
what was
thing. Here's the thing. In the bit that I watched, I was like, okay, you know what? No, one, this guy actually looks in too good of shape to actually be a breatharian. And it's to the point where I'm waiting for him to actually make the claim and actually get to that bit because, oh my God, I am going to throw the bullshit flag so hard in his face that it caves in. Because in order to have that sort of physique, it is in reality impossible to be on anything less than a 2500 kcal diet that is heavy in protein.
Right, so not only is he full of shit, he's a liar by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Classic
The
person.
Oh,
worst.
yeah. If that guy goes without food, I go without beer. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Wait, hang on.
Absolutely not.
Are you guys saying that people would just go on the internet and tell lies?
Who would do
No
such a thing?
way.
Sorry, I had to. Also, I have a question. Somebody in the
Kevin,
chat asked. I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the chat asked, "Does this guy have a Patreon?"
Oh, right. Yeah, I think that was ugly.
Buy him a sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to know what he offers. I want to see how much of a scam his Patreon is if he has it.
I really
tried to
hope he
get out of
doesn't.
Actually, what I've been wondering about here is this just a Westerner that got a hold of an Eastern mysticism book and kind of like screwed it up because they don't get that culture? Or is all yogi Zen masters this odd?
Right. The guy...
I've never met one in real life, so I'm hoping somebody else has.
Well,
no, he takes it to a different level. He definitely takes it farther than your actual quote unquote legitimate yogi. Most yogis will actually keep it to the actual practice of yoga and not go this far off the deep end. He definitely saw it and used it as a springboard, but dragged it along with him.
Definitely.
This guy read one book by the Dalai Lama and thinks he's enlightened now, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think it's even a little bit less. I think he probably just got high once and listened to the Beatles.
I think he's got high and he hasn't stopped.
Oh, no. It wasn't the Beatles he was listening to get this fucked up. It was Yoko Ono.
Oh, God. Yeah. Her
Well, the
squealing.
upside is if you had him for a neighbor, you wouldn't have to worry about him being violent and killing your dog in the middle of the night or throwing rocks through your windows. Whereas if you had somebody like Inram or Danny Pratt living next door to you, that could actually get scary.
Right.
Yeah. Especially when he's out fucking bending tubes over fucking barbecues and ranting at a camera about gravity, and you're looking over your fence thinking, what the fuck is he doing? I mean, if you just look at him and you'd be like, that guy's fucking crazy. My neighbour's mad. He's just ranting at his barbecue,
don't know.
bending a tube over it, filming himself, talking about gravity. What a prick.
Yeah, I don't know who I prefer as a neighbour. At least with Dell and that lot, they're fucking crazy. I'd have the worry of opening my back doors one day and seeing him in my garden doing fucking naked yoga, and that would freak me out even fucking more.
I'm just looking for a couple of leaves. Never mind. I can't go there.
Unreal.
Conspiracy Cat saying it was Wings, the band I think he's talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a really good comment here. Hold on, let me find it. I'm in the wrong spot. Oh no. Cleaner Ben says, yeah, Zen made a video in his kitchen, but why does a breatharian need a blender, a coffee machine, pots, pans, and so on?
Good point.
Right? You know,
Well,
like he has guests over. Would you like a bottle of air? Oh no, you eat real food, do you? Fine, then here's a and do it up yourself.
Those are for the days when he wants something a little heavier and he decides to eat fog.
Do you know, I mean, because I'm not watching the video, but I have seen this guy, and he's like a caveman who is not very good at hunting.
So you mean a vegetarian?
Well, no,
yeah, exactly.
He just can't find food because he's an idiot.
Yeah, it's one of those times that the whole tribal thing and supporting and helping another member of your tribe is actually a detriment, not a benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he back in like the early time of humanity, a guy like this would have been absolutely useless. They would have used him as like, the tribe fool for a few years and then just sent him off on a snipe hunt and took off when he was gone.
I don't know, my tribe would have used him as target practice.
Or he would have been left behind with the women because he's not going to be getting any, and he's better suited there.
Good point. That's awesome.
He's that one. Okay.
I'm just eating him.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Sorry to cut in. It's just I'm back. I had a minor technical domestic situation. That's why I've been completely silent for a few moments. So I'm back in the room, and we need to get on because we're running out of time, sadly. I want to get on to the next part of the video. So we've got a few minutes left on this one. Let's hit play on the video, see if we can get through a minute or two, and then we'll do a quick round table. Sound okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow. Fluid opening or fluid movement to where they actually want to go left or right. None of you watching this, maybe try this, but I believe that most of you watching this cannot let this element of lucidity happen. The flexibility and looseness of...
Hold on. That's not what that word means. Did I get that wrong? My lucidity the lucidity of my lucidity. That's brilliant. Where did that come from? Wow.
I can see an interesting defense case in front of a judge, Well, I didn't kill him. My hands they had the lucidity to want to on their own,
Yeah, they just slid to the left with the knife. Dear, oh dear. Sorry, it was just a minor point, but what the hell is he talking about? Please, man, don't English too good, please.
Glober Mom points out that his channel description is hilarious. I'll read just a couple lines from it. Breatharian is just a way of life for all. We just need to begin by not eating for as many hours or days as we feel comfortable with. As we feel comfortable with. Our ever peaceful state. To observe our emotions and our feelings so deeply, we discover that our emotions are what becomes stuck when we pack food in our bodies, etc. It doesn't get any better. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Do you know what? Fuck that. I am fucking eating, and that's the end of it.
I didn't get any of it.
We got a space ellipsis in there as well,
Logical, did I see you cutting in there? Logical chocolate diet. I thought you were trying to say something.
Oh, I was just thinking that if Yogi had been a client of mine when I was practicing, I might have diagnosed him with bullshititis.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, you know,
Okay, well,
I think logical.
yeah.
You might agree with me on this one, and I do have to quote the infamous and wonderful Dennis Leary on this one. Meat tastes like murder, and murder tastes pretty damn good, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Dead Kennedy in Space, you wanted to say something. How's it going, man?
Yeah. In response to what Kerry read from his channel description, that we just have to not eat as much as we're comfortable with. Guess what, buddy? I am poor as hell. I frequently have to choose between paying bills and buying groceries. I need to eat, motherfucker. Don't you dare tell me not to eat.
Does he not realize famine is a thing? I mean, I'm sure this has come up already, but for God's sake, millions of starving people in Africa shouldn't exist. They should just live.
Well, they're all just breatharians. They're fine.
Yeah, what's the problem? I don't get it. Unbelievable. Right, let's hit play on the video again. Let's see if we can get another few seconds out.
Coordinate to diet. When you get a clean diet, when your digestive channel can really breathe the essence of what a breatharian is. You want to really know what a breatharian is? I'll show you. I don't know if you've ever really understood or had somebody tell you, but the very act that we're all breatharians. We all breathe and we all eat. As long as you're eating, you're actually inhaling food. If you think about it, I want you to think about this seriously. The fish.
Pause.
No. What the hell?
If you are eating so quick to want to call it inhaling, that means you are starving yourself, sir. Stop it.
Yeah.
Did anyone see Thunderfoot? Yeah, when he did this experiment where he sort of tested this claim, I wonder. I'm hearing a lot of silence. That means probably not. So basically what he did was he weighed himself in an extremely accurate scale while sitting in a chair and quietly breathing. And he took means over time. And he worked out how many calories he was burning per breath and how much weight he was losing with every breath that he took. He could demonstrate that the act of breathing burns calories. It's the absolute opposite. There is no value in air that could even begin to come close to the energy you need just to deal with the sitting there and doing nothing. And that's just the breathing bit. What about your heart rate or keeping blood pressure up or producing other hormonal stuff? I mean, it's ludicrous. We're not batteries. You can't just plug us into the natural frequency of the universe. You have to put actual food in us.
But do you know what, right? He's saying like, do you want to know what it's like to be a breatharian? He's trying to explain it. No, I fucking don't want to know. And I don't think you should be fucking promoting this shit on the internet. People have fucking eating disorders, you know? And if you've got people spouting this shit on the internet, it's fucking bang out of order.
You tell him, Debunk.
You only have to see the fucking wrong person to clock this video and think that, like, yeah, maybe that's a thing. I just have to condition my fucking body and I don't have to eat. Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, look, this is the opportunity, I think, because we're going to move on to the next video in a minute. What I want to do is I'm going to go once around the table nice and quick and get some last thoughts from everybody, see what they all thought of the situation so far. So if I start with Sarcastic Barman, we haven't heard from you an awful lot tonight, mate. What did you think of this bollocks?
The guy is just a fucking nut job. There's no way he just can't be eating. It's fucking ridiculous. All right, he might not be eating much, or who knows, as someone said before, all protein diet. But fuck my life. It's a piss take, really.
Well, in my experience, they always get caught eating a chicken sandwich sometime, always. Let's see,
Bacon
Logical
butty.
Troglodyte. Yeah, right. Who could resist? Logical Troglodyte, what do you think so far?
Oh, I love poking sticks at stupid as much as the next guy, but let's not do this one again anytime soon.
All right. Fair enough. Dead Kennedy in Space, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, when you inhale, it goes into your lungs. When you eat, it goes into your stomach. How fucking stupid is this guy?
Yeah, two different bits, indeed. Jumpmonk the Dry Monkey, I'm sure you've got something to say. Come on, man, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I've just said it, it's fucking wrong. Especially, I mean, me and Dick Dawson done one way back on another guy who looks like a fucking fit and healthy, like he really takes his fucking protein and goes to the gym and he's telling people not to eat, which is even worse. At least you can see this guy's fucking dying if he doesn't start eating soon.
Yeah, it's ludicrous. I mean, well, yeah, I think you said it better than I could. 1 minute debunk. What about you, sir?
Breatharianism is dangerous.
Yeah.
It has cost lives as of I think 2017 or something. 5 people have been killed by breatharianism. So this ideology, yeah, that's not a big number, but that's a death toll.
It's bigger than zero.
I don't think many people have died doing flat Earth, but people have died because of this ideology. So it's dangerous, and it's interesting to see the mental gymnastics and confusion that this guy is demonstrating. But ultimately, this is going to be dangerous for vulnerable people. That's a bit of a downer.
Well, no, but it's a reasonable point. You know,
I
this
like
is
to
what
stay
Chipmunk the
grounded.
Drunk Monkey and his new channel is about with and the conspiracy is that some of these conspiracies, they're funny and you can point and laugh. This guy's obviously fucking ridiculous. But the consequences of doing what he's telling you are very real and very damaging. And that needs to be pointed out as something very serious indeed.
Well, that's exactly what I just said. You know, the same thing.
Yeah,
and the I
absolutely. Well, yeah, I know. Sorry, I just reiterated your point. That's my job here, basically, is to just say what all of you say back at you and make it sound professional.
I just shout it at you.
Your rants are valuable because I feel this ideology should be destroyed in every way it can be.
Yeah, indeed. And ridicule is
as long as
valuable.
you're saying it, you know?
Yeah. That's what we're for, right? Last on the list, it's AT2 Productions, mate. What do you think of this video?
Well, Debunk, I do have to correct you on one thing. We did lose someone to Flat Earth. Let's all bow our heads in remembrance of Flat Feet Pete.
Yeah.
This is before my time. Sorry.
Oh no, you don't remember that from the PewDiePie bullshit documentary that he did exposing Flat Earth?
In the Logan Paul one?
The Logan Paul one, yeah.
Logan Paul one, yeah.
Oh yeah, the guy who fell off the edge.
Exactly.
Oh
yeah, Flat
that's so
Feet
sad.
Pete. He's gone. He's dead now.
Gone, but not forgotten.
It was so believable. That was the thing that I liked about it. A really, real tear-jerking story. Right, okay, so we've got through the first video now, and we've done a little bit of a round table, which means that there's another one on the table to watch. You guys ready to watch a bit of madness? What's it this week, Dick?
We
lost him? Hello.
We have coming up a lovely, historically accurate piece by the one and only History Channel. Who else could bring you ancient aliens, in search of aliens, and the bullshit that we've got in this one? It's, what is it? Alien visions of the founding fathers.
Wow. Amazing. Can't live without it. Let's go.
Northern voters.
Hold on. Pause already. Dead Kennedy, yes.
Oh, it's not as funny if the timing's off like that. I was just gonna do the slogan again. The History Channel, where the truth is history.
Perfect. I'm glad someone remembered that. We were all struggling earlier. Thank God you came to rescue us. Right, let's hit play.
Northern voters, northern politicians are angry that this war is carrying on so far.
While the Confederates were massing for attack, reinforcements from the 20th Maine Volunteer Infantry Regiment were called in, commanded by Colonel Joshua Chamberlain.
Chamberlain rushes his troops towards the little round top. He comes to a crossroads, and he said there was an eerie figure in a tri-corner hat pointing the way to the little round top, the right road to take. And he said it looked like George Washington.
Could this ghostly vision have been merely an illusion? Although the story sounds incredible.
Yes, it could. Like, this is no more credible than, someone talking to a burning bush 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, then let's not forget that Chamberlain was a college graduate, for crying out loud. He was a teacher himself. He knew how to read a friggin' map.
And that was something
the questions. Oh, sorry, what was that, mate? Go ahead.
That was something that I was going to bring up that actually came to mind when I first saw that. It was like, whoa, hold up. Is it possible for it to be an illusion? Yes. But first, more importantly, you guys are saying that this was the report. Show your frickin' citation.
Amen. If it's a document, that's easy enough to display. I mean, you've noticed they go straight for the leading questions. It's not like they're even technically saying it. They're just that's the point of the joke, I suppose. I'm not saying aliens, but aliens is because they never actually say it definitely is. But
Can
they
I
always
just
go, could it be anything else? Surely it couldn't be anything else than a team of aliens who came down in this specific spacecraft and built this pyramid. Do you know what I mean? Debunk, sorry, what do you want to say, mate?
Again, I can't see the video, but I think it's my internet. These are in the army, right? Chamberlain. Because I can't see.
Well, we're talking about the Civil War in America, actually.
Yes, okay. So these guys would have been awake possibly for days, you know, under
Yeah.
stress. Of course, you fucking see things. You know, you really do hallucinate. That happens when you're under that much stress and that. Of course, man.
Indeed. And if one
fucking, you know, back then these things are documented. Now it's like we understand it, but that would have been documented, and now it's like, well, it's a ghostly figure, and then it's just made up into a big story. But you know, be awake in a war situation. I haven't been to war, thank goodness, and respect to anyone who has. But
indeed.
Now, something to remember here. It actually is kind of fascinating that this was one of the video choices for this today, because part of the reason why I joined the military is because since an early age, I've had a fascination with military history. And something that people forget, not only the sleep deprivation that these troops were dealing with, because the battle they're talking about is the Battle of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, one of the shortest but bloodiest multi-day battles of the Civil War. It was 3 days of pure mayhem that in those 3 days killed more than double the amount of people who died during the entirety of the Revolutionary War.
Quite. Fairly significant. Now, look, I've got a couple of people in the background who want to have a word. So firstly, we're going to go straight to 1 minute debunk.
Yeah, so they saw a ghostly figure. What if it was just a guy in a hat, like an old guy? I mean, what ghostly properties? The video showed him all wobbly and wavy, but if it's just the middle of the night and there's some guy and he's like, go that way. And they're like, whoa.
I mean, this is it.
It's embellished by hundreds of years of history. We don't know what they saw. It probably was just a guy in a hat, if anything.
Tony Designs is saying some guy in a rain hat gave him directions, therefore ghosts.
Now, Dead Kennedy in Space, did you have something you wanted to add?
Just like the last History Channel video we did, I cannot look past the priming in these videos. It's all like that whole joke. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. That's priming the audience. That's putting their mind in the direction you want to put them into, and it's so manipulative. I hate it.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely agree with you there.
Now, Kerry Mack, are there any comments or questions that are coming up at the moment you wanted to bring forth?
Sure. Harry Warp's reminding us the battle was a part of the Battle of Gettysburg and occurred on the second day. Ugly German Truths is saying Chamberlain has become famous for his role in Gettysburg, but he was also all his life deeply religious person and has said and written a lot of ridiculous shit.
Yes.
Jen Morgan says it was fairies, you goofs. Not aliens, fairies, of course, always. And Kristen Frost laser beams. I guess history doesn't change quickly, so they have to compensate to idiots by creating woo stories. Couldn't agree more.
That's a good one.
Dick Dawson, what about you?
Well, this is one of those things where if you subtract all the sensationalism and grandeur of the production that they go through to give you this, really all it is, yeah, dude had a weird vision before going off to do something. And that's like saying, oh, well, I had a funky dream last night, and then today when I was at the store, there was a few things on sale, so I know that if I have a good dream, I better go shopping. What? You know, it's just ridiculous. It's nonsense.
Well said, that man. Absolutely.
It's
right, should
what
we
we
hit play on the
call
video again and
complex
see what they say
equivalencies.
next? Oh, sorry, logical troglodyte. Say that again, mate.
I was just mentioning that what Dick just described is what we call in my field of expertise complex equivalencies. A plus B does not necessarily equal C.
Yes, quite indeed. All right, well, look, there you go. Thanks as ever to Logical Troglodyte for bringing some sanity and class to the room. Shall we hit play and continue with our debunking?
Secretary Secretary of War Edwin Stanton appointed a member of his staff to speak with a number of the men who experienced this vision, and it is said that he gathered unwavering testimony claiming that the encounter was real. In the end, the 20th Maine would repel the Confederate attack on Little Round Top and save the day for the Union Army.
So you have to ask yourself, did extraterrestrials in some way influence this battle by disguising themselves as a familiar figure like George?
God, stop this fucking shit. No, I don't think that, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, why do I have to ask myself that?
Fucking mind? Why the fuck? How the fuck could they get here, and why the fuck would they come here? You know, if they could get here, what the fuck are they gonna learn from us? We barely crawled out of from under a rock, you fucking moron.
Oh, I love that.
And take one look at us and go, oh, these are a bunch of fucking dorks. We'll come back in another million years and see how they got on.
And,
okay, you next, and then we'll get 1 minute.
Yeah, the funny thing I find about this is you got this race of people who come together and figure out space travel. They can get past these monumental distances to get to here to see us and whatnot, and yet their medical technology is such that they have to stick shit up your ass to figure shit out about you. I just don't think so. Like,
nah,
come
man.
on.
It's just fucking
Indeed.
ridiculous.
Well, it is all a bit laughable, isn't it? Now, 1 minute
It
Debunk.
is.
Do you have something you wanted to add?
I love how they came up with perhaps the most non sequitur bonkers question: Did extraterrestrials disguise themselves as the founding fathers? And then preceded it with, "You have to ask yourself." That just elevates it into the stratosphere of. I don't know. I don't have a word to describe what that sentence is, but it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, you have to take this massive leap of conclusion for no obvious and apparent reason to fit our convenient narrative. It's
even
bizarre.
leap is not sufficient.
Yeah, right. You have to get on a plane.
It's textbook begging the question. You are quite literally saying you have to ask yourself this. And no, you fucking don't.
You have to do it because there's no logical path there. You just have to jump to this bonkers.
The only thing you have to do is wonder how somebody could narrate that shit and keep a straight face. Like, the guy doing the narration must be batshit crazy, or he's just so into the money that he can hold it back and not laugh, man.
It was their show.
Kennedy in space. You wanted to jump in there, right?
In response to what Dick just said, it was the 50th take. There's my theory. But also, Jutmonk mentioned this, and you mentioned this, Dick. We have this civilization who are capable of interstellar travel, who have done things that we as humans can't even imagine, and they're gonna come and influence the fate of this group of hairless monkeys who haven't figured out radio yet.
Yeah. We've barely got projectile weapons.
Yeah. Like, why?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
unless they're fucking with us. That is the cosmic fucking with us theory, that they turn up and they just, oh, look at the fucking dumb humans. Look at this. If I put some circles in these crops, that's going to drive them fucking mental.
Well, here's another question. Here's another question with that. They came all this way, even if they did have FTL, they're still in transit for a long fucking time.
Hold on. That's not necessarily true. It depends on how you read the future of what you can do with warp. They could be instantaneous. There could be a couple of solutions in relativity which could allow them to turn up almost instantaneously. So
here's the thing. You saying that just makes my point even worse for them.
Yeah. Well,
how do they know what the founding fathers looked like?
Yeah, good point.
No doubt.
Indeed. I mean,
absolutely.
When did the History Channel stop doing sharks and Nazis and start doing everything is aliens? Because I don't remember the transition. I just remember there being one and there being the other.
That's because you forgot that Nazis and sharks are both aliens.
That's where it came from.
And the lizards.
Okay.
And the lizards.
Oh yeah, no, I can't forget the lizard people. We'll do a David Icke one episode, but because he only does like 10-hour gigs, we'll have to cut a little section out and film with it. Look, we've got to hit play on the video because we are running.
Was Kiri going to say something then?
Oh, Kiri, yeah.
Oh, just simply, Linda Bertelsen who makes a good point. The History Channel is trying to get eyes and sensationalism, gets people watching, and we're watching it, you know? So I guess they've got us, but what are you going to do?
Well, but most people don't actually watch the History Channel that I know of. They just know of the bullshit it spews. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly,
They've all
yeah.
given up on it. Right, we've got to hit play because we've got about 7 or 8 minutes left of this before we have to go.
And then guiding the troops to a certain position where they knew this would turn the tide of the battle? It would seem that something like this happened. We do have clues that Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin and George Washington all believed in extraterrestrial life. Thomas Jefferson gave a famous lecture about the unusual UFO sighting by a person named William Dunbarton in Baton Rouge in 1800. Benjamin Franklin wrote in his Poor Richard's Almanac about life on other worlds and apparently was a believer in that. And George Washington had a very famous angelic vision at Valley Forge. And so it would seem that George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin were very much believers in extraterrestrials and life on other planets.
Is it possible that extraterrestrials have been guiding the course of America?
Wait. I almost feel like, no, don't stop, because if you let him play the next sort of 10 seconds, it's going to add to whatever you're about to say. But no, go on, say what you're going to say, because there's just some brilliant stuff coming.
No, well, I mean, yeah, I did used to believe that there was extraterrestrials that have visited us and that, you know, when I was probably about 9 or 10 or 11. And then from sort of that point on, I started to think, nah, it's probably not happened, you know.
The numbers don't look good.
Since going into maybe high school, as yeah, we don't call it high school, we call it senior.
Dude.
But
yeah, I know what you mean. Basically, I went from a position when I was young, I'd have loved aliens to have existed. And then the more I found out about science, the more I realized it basically was less and less possible until the chances are essentially zero at the moment. And you're interested in like the Fermi paradox or whatever.
Yeah, but we spoke about this before, Jimbo.
True.
We both think this. Well, there is got to be life as common as it is on Earth. All sorts.
Yeah,
but,
it's got to be.
Us,
Look, we haven't heard from
level...
Sarcastic Barman in a little while. I want to see if I can get a couple of words out of him. How are you doing, mate? What do you think so far? Life on other planets?
Oh, definitely there more than likely would be life on other planets, but why, oh why, even if it evolved millions of years ago, would it spend the millions of years to come here? I'm sure there's much more interesting stuff out in the universe. And even worse than that, why pretend to be a bloody Revolutionary War general? If you're an alien, you want to influence things, just blow the fucking something up.
Now, it's been rightly pointed out to me that the person who actually called this pause hasn't had a chance to speak yet. Dick Dawson, I do apologise, mate. What did you want to say?
I've seen this David Childress guy on a couple of shows before.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention when he's speaking and watch him and listen, you can easily tell when he believes what he's saying or when he knows it's BS. He is a complete and utter Poe, and he's doing it for the money. His voice slows down as soon as he starts talking nonsense. But when he's actually telling something that's true, his voice is a much faster pattern. Check it out when you hear him talk next time, people, because you'll see it. It's unbelievable.
Well,
look at that. We've got a human lie detector. Sorry, Jared.
Because that's it. A lot of people who have that level of intellect when it comes to certain topics, when they're talking about something that they know about, I know I'm guilty of it too. We get excited because, oh my God, you're in my wheelhouse. Please come play with me in this area.
Yeah. Come talk to me about this. Absolutely.
And even then, another point, you're going to a person in a military position who's going through hardships, who at that point, even Washington himself was teetering on starvation. Yeah, you're going to see funky shit there. And the whole thing down in Baton Rouge, no, because cloud to cloud and ball lightning wasn't a thing all the way back then, before they actually knew and understood even the beginning inklings of electricity.
Yeah, quite. It's quite notable that Ben Franklin was one of the first people to even begin to look into that stuff, and it was mentioned.
But just remember, guys, I'm not saying it was aliens. But it was aliens.
Yeah.
It was aliens.
1 minute debunk. You've got something lined up, do you not?
Just a quick point that he said Washington had an angelic vision. So, I mean, I'm guessing everything is literally aliens all the time, but traditionally, angels aren't aliens.
They are on this show.
Everything's an alien on this show. It's a minor point. It does seem a little inconsistent, which isn't surprising because it's BS through and through.
This is somehow classed as history. Shall we hit play and see what other bollocks they have to tell us?
Yeah.
Since its very beginning, and intervened in the Civil War to ensure that the great experiment would continue. Ancient astronaut theorists suggest further evidence that an otherworldly force was present at this point in history can be found by examining a recurring dream that Abraham Lincoln had of his own.
I beg your pardon. The recurring dreams of Abraham Lincoln determine whether or not they're aliens. That's a new one for the Drake equation. Fuck me.
Oh no! You need to let that one go further. You'll
Oh,
love
okay,
where
hit play.
you'll love
Yeah.
where they go with this one.
Let's go. Hit play.
He sees a body on the catafalque wrapped in mourning clothing. The body is being guarded by Union soldiers. He asks one of the soldiers, "Who is dead in the White House?" And one of the soldiers says, "It's the president. He's been killed by an assassin."
Lincoln's belief that he would rise to greatness and then die prematurely was something that was of long standing. And it's a testament to his courage that he fulfilled his...
Hold on. Sorry. As an American citizen, AT2 production, would you mind telling us approximately the time period for people who don't know that Abraham Lincoln was around?
In the presidency, he was elected just before the Civil War, died just after. He was actually assassinated by John Wilkes Booth in the Ford Theater. What was it, 2 months after inauguration of his second term?
Yeah,
Sounds about right,
1866, I think it was, he was assassinated.
Now, the thing about 1866 is in America and in England and in fact across the world, it was basically very easy to die early. So having it in your head that you would rise to greatness but die early, I mean, it's just a bit of ambition and then a bit of realism, right? That seems like a perfectly justifiable thing to think in his position.
Did you catch the specific lingo he used there? Would rise to greatness, die early was a testament. Like literally, they're using language to draw some parallels there. Are you catching that?
Yeah, was a bit biblical. I missed that. Blimey.
Yeah.
Right, let's hit play again because we're nearly at the end now of this video, and I want to see if we can get there. Sorry, who was that jumping in? I didn't catch your icon. Dead Kennedy?
Very quick thing. Question for AT2. Was Lincoln ever dead in the White House?
No.
Didn't think so.
No, he was killed. He was shot at Ford Theater. He immediately went to the Naval Observatory because that's where his doctor was. And then from there, when his body was on display, it was in Congress. It was in the State House. It was not at the White House.
Never dead in the White House.
Nope.
There you go. Strange. Right, let's hit play on the video once more. Get a bit more down. Yeah.
He believed that he was uniquely suited to become president, to carry the country through the great crisis of disunion. And he, part and parcel with that belief in his destiny to become president, was his belief that he would be slain.
Could it be that extraterrestrials were the source of this recurring dream, and that they were testing Abraham Lincoln to see if he would fulfill his destiny, even knowing that it would lead to an early grave?
Wait, that's it?
Yep.
I think that's the end of the video. Wow, shock horror. It just
is.
made me cold, didn't it?
Fuck my life.
Right, so what we're going to do now is the traditional round table and tell us what you thought of that bollocks, because it was bollocks. It was entertaining bollocks, but bollocks it was. So I'm going to start at the top of my list. Dick Dawson, you've always got something to say about this sort of nonsense, and you're very lively about it. So why don't you start us off?
Well, you see, when I was 5, I snuck out of the house. I was outside playing around in the backyard, and I looked up and I thought I saw the moon, except it was moving a bit. So I was hopping fences, and before you knew it, I had stumbled into this great land of crystals that were all basking under the moonlight. And yeah, this is just bullshit. What the hell is this doing on the History Channel? Holy! When did this become the What If and If So channel? Come on!
Right? Absolutely. I remember actual documentaries on the History Channel. I'm certain of it. I remember measurements and all sorts of things. They had evidence.
Yeah, that ended somewhere around 2004, 2005.
Yeah, when George Tsoukalis or Giorgio Tsoukalis turned up with his mad hair and his aliens, not aliens, it's aliens business, right?
Yeah, he didn't used to have mad hair.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point he probably looks normal, but I've seen a photo of him in his sort of normal life, and he dresses even more bizarrely with even crazier hair. I swear to God. It's all beads and really long Mr. T-style necklaces and sort of sleeveless shirts that are really baggy. It's very look. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk to Logical Troglodyte. What did you think of what we've seen so far?
Well, there is, okay, how do I explain this? There is a bit of the culture of the mid-1800s that most people may not be aware of. And spiritualism as a theology, an ideology, a belief system was a real thing. Yes, it was documented, that Lincoln had premonitions of his death, but that was part and parcel of the whole spiritualism crap, and his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, was kind of off into that. Many people were. It was, it hadn't been really around long enough to really be debunked properly. And there were charlatans who would take advantage of people's fears and whatnot to make money. Go figure, right? So when they talk about this sort of thing with his premonitions, that's kind of true, and there's a cultural aspect to it that we have to examine. But does that necessarily mean that spirits or angels or demons or aliens or anything else? No, that all goes into the inner workings of the human mind, which is, we're still discovering how that all works, but I totally loathe and despise the History Channel for what it has become. They were once a trusted source of educational material, and somewhere along the line they flipped the switch, decided to go down into the wormhole of the world of woo, started peddling nonsense, but they take no responsibility for the nonsense that they spout, and then we wonder why stupid is proliferating. It just totally torques me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. The normally calm and reserved Logical Troglodyte is clearly about to blow a blood vessel. So before that happens, I better move on quickly. Dead Kennedy in Space, what do you think?
First thing, I'm going to read a comment from Ugly German Truce that made me chuckle. History Channel was dead before when they did only World War II stuff. It isn't called Hitlery Channel for no reason, or nowadays Hysteria Channel.
Nice.
But as for my own thoughts, that was fun. That was entertaining. I think I wonder how entertaining it would be without the production value. Because like imagine if Barnabas Nagy was presenting us with this information. I think it'd be stupider, but nowhere near as funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Barnabas Nagy has a way of making extraordinary sound claims just sound dumb, whereas at least some of the people we watch other than him do make it entertaining. Look at Dell, for instance. He's marvelous. Right. Let's see. Jumpman the Drunk Monkey. So what do you think so far, mate?
Oi. Well,
Oi.
I mean, spirits, not the ones I fucking drink. Spirits, ghosts, angels, that's bollocks. Aliens is the one conspiracy I really want to be true. See, one thing would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
If it was.
Agreed.
But you know, sadly, you gormless, gullible fucking idiots, it isn't. So
Isn't it?
stop living in a fantasy world and fucking wake up.
I don't know about you, but I am so much of a nerd about this that if they discovered a single colony of bacteria on another planet, right, just this tiny little pocket somewhere, that would blow my mind as much as shaking an alien's hand, right? Because yeah, that's it. It's like bang, there's life.
That's it. There you go.
It's definitely there. Time to get out there and look for it.
It is.
Right,
We just
brilliant.
gotta find it.
Sarcastic Barman, what do you think, man? It's been a long show. We've seen some interesting nonsense. What do you think?
Well, I can understand why we did the breatharians and the crazy civil war was helped along by aliens, because they're both as nutter as each other. At least the Civil War blokes have got an excuse. They've been fighting a battle. They'll be fucking tired. The breatharian just needs a fucking sandwich. I mean, and every time he says Yogi, all I think is Yogi Bear, and he's going, and we can pull it with our arms. Yeah, and he's going to go nick that picnic basket because he doesn't want anyone to know he's actually had food. Oh, but it's just full of woo peddling nonsensy crap. Oh,
I know it's almost like in some ways it's boring because you've heard every single argument before. At least they have the decency to present it in a slightly interesting way, I suppose, something we can really get our teeth into. But yeah, no, I follow you entirely. I'm going to jump over to Kerry Mack next because I wanted to give her a little bit of time to collate the last comments of the day. Is there anything interesting out there?
Yeah, Jen Morgan is saying, stop picking on the History Channel. What do you expect for a group whose name spells THC? Conspiracy.
Yeah,
Kristen Frost Laser Beams calls it hysterism, of course.
Yeah.
Now, I've actually got a comment from the previous video, but it's so good I had to read it out.
Sure.
Talking about the breatharian guy, Glober Mum says, he claims that our colons are our first brains and what we put into them goes into our real brains. So if he eats air, he is an airhead. Exactly.
I'll go with that.
Love
I'm
it.
absolutely happy with that.
Brilliant.
Cool. Any last comments or questions?
Got Snowdog. Oh, my bad. On you go, Thomas.
There was one. I'm trying to find it in Discord here, Kiri. There was one you posted way earlier that was really good, and I wasn't sure it came off. I can't find it.
I think
Shit.
might
Sorry.
It might be
I didn't
Snowdog's
even.
comment.
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember. It's okay. I shouldn't have butted in. Damn it. I thought I had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh well. Oops.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Yeah.
Yes, right now especially.
All right. What about you, Kiri? You've seen the videos too. What do you think about all this?
Well, the first guy, I mean, please, that is just dangerous. That is at such a level that people are actually dying because of his bullshit and people who spout the same bullshit. I have no words for the guy, you know, like it's not just fun. It's not just about making money from a YouTube channel. You know, if you want to get into crystals or something, go for it. That's not going to hurt anybody. But the minute that you start to tell somebody that they can live off air, then I'm sorry, but you need to be shut down, in my
I
opinion.
agree with that. And that's the sort of
Absolutely.
thing my channel's going to do.
Absolutely. I'll put that link in the chat for everybody again. Jumpmonk and End the Conspiracy are going to be tackling issues like this on their new channel. So if you could all go over and sub, there'll be videos coming soon. I'm sure they'd love it. There you go.
Brilliant. Indeed. Well, that's brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Kerry. So next on the list, I think I'm going to go to Osman Cometh, our producer. You had something you wanted to add?
Yes, I've got 3 little comments I'd like to add. Firstly, I would like to apologize for the beginning issues at the start of the stream. I did say that I would get it right in the third one. I was obviously talking out of my ass. I've still got a little bit to go, but please stick with me and I'll get it going good. Second one, about the breatharian. A few little issues. I'm going to have to turn my microphone down for this. So before I do that, I'm just going to say, this is a PSA from the production team here at the Shills. Eat!
Yeah.
Yes,
it's a simple one. It's only okay.
And for the
just remember.
Yeah, and for the alien one, what did I just watch?
Right?
You watched the History Channel.
Isn't that pathetic?
Like,
it's fucking crazy.
I got a C minus
history
on
not
this
interesting
shit.
enough?
I got a C minus on my history, and I know more about the Civil War than these fuck knuckles.
Yeah, well, what you watched in a nutshell is stupid people saying bullshit about stupid ideas and trying to give it an
Absolutely.
air of legitimacy.
Yeah, indeed. Is history not interesting enough? Is the real history of the world too boring? There's so much amazing shit in the 4.5 billion years since just this planet became a thing, let alone the 13.7 since it sprung into existence, at least as far as we know.
And if Jared, I don't know about you, but I'm also a Navy veteran. When I watch crap like this, I feel like they are totally disrespecting the ingenuity and the bravery and that it took for these men to stand up and say, you know, I'm going to fight for what I believe in, even if it costs me my life. You know, do you kind of see it this way?
For a while I did. I kind of got numb to that bit of it, but it's still one of those things where I agree is where I stand with history actually goes back to one of the teachers that I had back in what would be the end of primary, beginning of secondary school, depending on where you are. So that the actual middle school years. My history teacher just would remind the class in general, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Repeat history, yeah, absolutely.
And
Sure, words are never spoken.
He and I got into other discussions where I actually had put it together myself that the people who don't have that at least base curiosity for history are people who actually lack basic critical thinking skills. Because one of the things with history that it allows you is to recognize, okay, what has been done before to further understand not just yourself individually in your own history, but the people around you. What led them to where they are now? And when it comes to history, another thing that people need to remember, and at the same time the chat caught it, is when I thought of it during what you were saying before, Logical, is that people often forget that Lincoln was a high functioning person with chronic depression. He actually dealt with depression for the entirety of his adult life, on top of everything that he had to deal with during the stresses of the Civil War itself. So add that into the mysticism that was very popular amongst the elite classes of society back then too, you can see how he is going to have those types of self-manifestations in his own mind that, yep, I'm going to fucking die. It's not a question of if, it's a question of how.
Yeah. Indeed. Well said. Now, look, because obviously Logtrog asked you a little question there and you answered it so very eloquently, we're already on you in the group. So I'm wondering if there are any final thoughts that you'd like to add for what we've seen today before I move on.
It never ceases to amaze me the amount of stupid that can come in rapid fire. And when you look at people who can be truly dangerous, the breatharian, urine therapy, salt therapy,
those guys,
those types of people can actually do legitimate, direct, quantifiable damage.
Indeed.
And that is the maddening part, is that other people are like, oh, they're harmless. No, if you get people to actually listen to them and actually follow what they do, I'm looking at you, Jillian, and get your fucking juice off the internet.
Yeah, right.
It's just waterfalls.
There's been some campaigning there. Look, right. How about you, 1 minute debunk? What do you think about what we've seen so far today?
There's an adage called Betteridge's Law of Headlines, which says that any headline that ends in a question mark can be answered by the word no.
No. Yes, I've heard that one. What did you say it was called? Sorry, say that again. I really want to know.
Betteridge's Law of Headlines.
Betteridge's Law of Headlines. Right, I shall be looking that up. Yes, I've heard that one. It's brilliant.
The reason that exists is because journalists do have, to an extent, accountability. So they can't just put a headline that is truly nonsense. And framing it as a question is a perfect defense. It's kind of cowardly, and it lets you put the surprising nonsense up front whilst having the defense that, oh, it's just a question. That's the Alien show in a nutshell. They'll say facts, but as soon as they want to push out a little bit of nonsense, it just switches into a question, a series of.
I'm so glad
could
you
it be?
noted.
Perhaps, maybe.
Indeed.
The
At no
answer is
point
no.
did they actually make the claim that this happened. That's the thing.
No, they didn't.
just implied it heavily every single bloody time. Yeah, point well made.
They do that. They do that on a lot of shows. I've noticed that
Yeah.
before. They do it
Yeah,
on a
well-
lot of different topics.
There's a common deceptive tactic as far as I'm aware. Now, look, what we've done so far is we've gone around the table and I've asked everyone what they thought about the videos that they saw this week. And it's pretty much time for us to close up the show. But I'm going to give people now an opportunity to quickly shill out for anything that they might want to keep an eye out for. So we're going to do one more loop. Oh, hello.
Sorry, it's not a shill out. I wanted to read out a comment that's been posted a couple of times.
Sure.
AT2, congratulations. Your voice put Deathpool Wilson's baby to sleep.
Nice.
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah,
ASMR for babies is in
Yeah,
the
man.
debunking community.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
a bit
look,
like
one quick
David
ra-
Attenborough. He
Yeah.
can do that on a Sunday afternoon, can't he?
All right, look, well, one quick shill round then, everybody. I'm going to start at the top one more time. I'll start with Jack Monk and end with Dick Dawson. So, Jack Monk, the Drunk Monkey, you got anything you want to shill out for quickly as we say goodbye?
No. If Kiri would just post that link one more time, that's good enough for me.
Lovely, fair enough. Sarcastic Barman, how about you, mate?
Oh crap! On my sound. There we go. That's better. Sorry. Yeah,
hello.
next week's having a go at Orphan Red should be a bit of fun. I'm really looking forward to the Shills show on Saturday. That should be a good laugh. We've got a feline person on or something. Yeah, but yeah. But yeah, just the general sort of shilling the channel, shilling myself. Everyone come and say hello. The normal sort of stuff, mate.
Absolutely. All right, brilliant stuff. Let's go on to 1 Minute Debunk. You got any last bits of shilling you want to do?
Sure. Subscribe to my channel if you want very short little debunking videos, and join the Shills Discord. It's the most fun you can have in public legally.
Lovely.
Well said, buddy. Awesome.
Love it.
Logical Troglodyte, what about you, mate?
I like to give shout outs to newer channels that I think have really excellent content and shill them more than I like to shill myself. So if you haven't seen somebody in the chat called Glober Mom, definitely check her out. She's recently reached 100 subs. She's a really good up and coming. Mike Bertelson is now making videos as Mike the Engineer on his channel. Definitely need to check him out. The man knows what he's talking about.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Kerry Mack, how about your good self?
I just want to check in with everybody. I hope you're all going to come on Saturday. I'll let Jim Bojo and whatnot tell you what's happening there, but we've got a really good show lined up for you.
Praise
Great fun
indeed.
today.
Okay,
So,
Osman Cometh. Ozzy, do you want to add anything? You got anything you want to shell out for? Any friends or family or yourself putting out anything?
Yes, I am going to be working on a live stream marathon for Doc Fearsome. He needs a car rather as soon as possible, and we are now doing a donate-a-thon.
Lovely.
Apart from that, I have been the Ozman Cometh, and please remember, eat.
Indeed. Please remember to eat. That just leaves us with AT2 Productions. Have you got any final thoughts? What have you got to shell out for?
Final thoughts. You know what? This was less alcohol than a movie night, and that is saying something. But so Kiri has already put a bunch of the links into the chat for my Discord and both of my channels, AT2 Productions, which tomorrow we have the Veterans Talk Weekly that is going to kick off about 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Because prior to that, I will be on Team Skeptic's channel doing a wonderful debunk of his brother and climate sciences. That should be something else. And then Saturday this week, we have the first of 2 installments of Canar with Damar, our once monthly, now twice a month show where we talk about Star Trek and other sci-fi related topics and fandoms. And also this coming weekend will be the return to AT2 Moto with a wonderful talking point that was actually inspired by a panel member. Your latest video,
cool.
Dead Kennedy, definitely spurred me to think that, yes, people need to look beyond. People do need to actually not be afraid of what the future might hold.
Oh, that the video about the thing that we can't see, but we know it's there?
Yes.
Ah, lovely. I can't wait to see that.
Okay, well, I think I've been all the way around the table now, except for one more. That's Mr. Dick Dawson. He's going to take us out to the end of the show after giving us his final thoughts. If I've missed anyone, please say so now or forever hold your peace. Lovely. That's a bit of silence we can all enjoy. Okay, so Dick Dawson, why don't you give us the final thoughts on the day and then tell us about our exciting Saturday show and lead us out.
Number one, people, thank you for watching. Thanks to our guest, 1 Minute Debunk, Jared AT2 Productions. Fantastic show, great time, awesome. So let me close by saying, food is good food. Know it, learn it, love it. Okay, we're good. Next, just because somebody tells you such doesn't mean that aliens are actually playing with your bum. So don't worry about it. It's fine. They have better things to do, just like we do. And on that note, I think we've pretty much taken a hammer and smashed stupid all the way to kingdom come. So why don't we all take a moment and say bye? Oh, I forgot the Saturday thing. So this Saturday on the show, we got Conspiracy Cats joining us. So pop in, have a laugh. We'll tear the place down with cats, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. Sorry.
He's got this
videos.
He's got this white logo. It's a cat, and I'll have to show you.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I've seen it. It's
It's
quite.
just a
yeah,
small
He
channel.
sings.
Yeah.
We can help him. We'll help him get off the ground.
Yeah, you know.
I've heard good things. Let's get him. Let's give him a hand. Yeah. Get him a
Yeah.
couple of subs. Everyone sub.
Go on that note.
Cats.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. One of the things you've got to remember, folks, is that as you've been watching the show and you've been hearing the various different things that we've talked about, you've got to remember to check our description list, because in there we've got all of the different creators that you've been hearing from tonight and some of the things that they're working on. And it's a list to this whole new world of fantastic content. You will really enjoy seeing it. I can guarantee it.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, on that note, let's take the high road. Good night, everybody. Bye.
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 Catch you later.